Hey everyone, Mike O'Reilly from O'Reilly's Corner. Glad you guys can make it. You know, the left has had fantastic, really wildly successful protests on the capturing of Nicolas Maduro. They've had really good crowd sizes, beautifully crafted signs, huge professional banners, even had a few bullhorns around the crowd. Really well done. Have to hand it to them. I guess the only thing missing from these protests were Venezuelans.
Joining me now is Diana Quintero, who fled Venezuela with her family back in 2012. Diana, we appreciate you taking the time to join us here on Live Now from Fox.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure for me to be here.
And Diana, this is a situation that is very personal for you and your family. You left Venezuela back in 2012. You are a U.S. citizen. You have established a very successful business for yourself as a celebrity makeup artist. When you first heard the news of Maduro's capture along with his wife, what were your initial reactions?
I think we couldn't believe it. I think we've been waiting for freedom for so long. So we were super happy. We couldn't even like yesterday I was talking to my family. We finally got to speak with my family. We were not in contact with them for around 6 months. So it was very like we can't believe this is happening, but it's happening. So we were super excited.
I have to imagine. And can you share a little bit about the history of why your family left Venezuela and what life was like there while you were living in the country?
Yeah, so I saw how the country changed throughout the years. It happened very slowly. We moved here looking for freedom, looking for a better quality of life. And we kind of just wanted that. And Venezuela was just violating civil rights. They wouldn't let you like speak about the government. So that's why it brought us here pretty much.
And I have to imagine that you or your family members might still be in touch with people who are still in Venezuela. What is the overall atmosphere like in the country right now?
So they actually don't know what's going on. The government doesn't really want us to have communication with anybody in there. We saw how Chavez will lie to their people. We saw the freedom actually getting taken away from us. So that was super sad.
So now, we're hearing from President Trump talking about the transition of power. Do you have any concerns for the people still there in Venezuela, for the future of the country? What are you hoping happens? What are any concerns that you may have as we're in this transitional phase?
We actually want the government, of the US government to be there. I speak for majority of Venezuelans. This is not work for us, how a lot of other people are trying to make it seem. This is actually freedom, and we really want this to happen. So the fact that the US government is actually helping us have that grow and actually have that freedom, that's what we want. So we are very grateful for what the US government is doing, and we stand by everything they're doing.
Did you get that? They want the U.S. government there. You see, the Venezuelan people, who know firsthand the horrors of living in fear and oppression, they were giddy. They were celebrating the capture of the illegitimate president, Nicolas Maduro. And they thank President Trump for taking charge. So what the hell are the left protesting about? It's worth noting that Joe Biden, or at least his handlers, put a $25 million bounty on Maduro's head to capture him. So presumably, the Democrats also wanted him captured until Trump captured him.
There have been a lot of individuals and countries that have spoken out in support of the United States, and there have also been some world leaders who have spoken out opposed to what has happened. We were talking offline, and you specifically mentioned the French president saying that the United States has overstepped, and you had a very strong reaction to that perspective. Can you tell me how you feel about world leaders who feel that President Trump has perhaps overstepped?
Yeah, so I believe this couldn't have happened without President Trump's help. I want to say to them, where were you when the civil rights were getting violated, when people were getting into jails and because they have a different political opinion than what the government was giving us? We saw people actually dying. Like, where was the help to the people? And I think the US is standing by that.
Yes, indeed. Where were they when people were starving, when people were imprisoned and fleeing their homes? Where were they? The left don't really care about that. They really don't. They only care about opposing President Trump. They're like a single-celled organism that can only do one thing: oppose Trump. Stay with me to the end. You'll get to see the left's poster child. Yeah, Chuck Schumer, making a complete ass out of himself. Yeah, I know, again. Do me a favor, though. Before we do that, please just smack that like button and the subscribe button. Absolutely free, no strings attached whatsoever. And it helps me out enormously. Really appreciate it. I'll wait a second or two.
The US had really good intentions for Venezuela. I believe if we bring that back, I think I do hope for freedom and hope for this actually civil rights to be implemented. We are very afraid of what the government actually can do to you. I have friends that have been in jail and we don't even know if they're alive pretty much. So yes, freedom is what we need right now.
And when you think of the word freedom, it probably strikes you a little bit differently because that's something that you don't take for granted. You were mentioning, and it just seems so unbelievable that you have friends who have been imprisoned that you don't even know if they're alive. That just seems so far away from the life here in the United States.
And here's that quick clip of good old Chuck Schumer, courtesy of a guy named Buddy Brown. We thank Mr. Brown for sharing this. And if you've enjoyed today's video as much as I've enjoyed having you guys here today, check out some of the other episodes on O'Reilly's Corner and help me keep the lights on all of these issues. Thanks a lot, Mike O'Reilly.
All right, y'all. So we're going to talk about little Chuck Schumer today, who back in 2020 climbed on the Senate floor like a guy at deer camp who ain't never shot a deer, but he's got lots and lots of advice. He scolded Trump for not toppling the Maduro regime down there in Venezuela. And I think good old Chuck forgot that this video exists, which is why we're going to play it today. Watch this.
He brags about all these things he wants to do or is doing, but his actions belie his words. Maybe the best metaphor was his claim to bring democracy to Venezuela. There was a big policy there. It flopped. And the president brags about his Venezuela policy? Give us a break. He hasn't brought an end to the Maduro regime. The Maduro regime is more powerful today and more entrenched today than it was when the president began.
You're making it too easy for us, Chuck.